So the next topic is related to our last topic, that was halogenation of alkanes. So in this topic we will study the relative reactivities of halogen toward the alkenes. So halogens are, there are different halogens in periodic table like fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So how these halogens will react toward a particular alkanes, or what is the order of their reactivity. That means out of these halogens, which halogen reacts halogen reacts rapidly as compared to other halogens with a particular alkane. Alkane means, particular alkane means there are lots of alkane like methane, ethane or propane or butane, pentane, hexane, heptane and so on. So we will take a particular alkane. That means particular alkane, like if either we will take methane or we will take ethane or propane or butane, and we will study reactivity of all these halogens with that particular alkane. For example, we will study the reactivity of halogens with this particular methane. That means with methane, which of these react rapidly, fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. What is the rate of reaction, or what is the rate of reactivity of these halogens with this particular alkane, that is methane. So the order of reactivity of halogen in different halogen reaction of alkene is, so order is fluorine, molecule of fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. It means fluorine reacts very rapidly as compared to chlorine, which in turn reacts very rapidly than bromine, and bromine is very reactive than the iodine, and fluorine is very reactive than the iodine for the halogenation of a particular alkane. So in case of iodine, the reaction does not appear to occur, so its rate of reactivity with the particular alkane is very slow. This may be explained on the basis of energy changes that take place during the chain initiation and chain propagation steps of halogenation of a particular alkane with different halogens as given ahead. So in last lecture I told you that the halogenation of alkene takes place through free radical mechanism. Free radical mechanism involve three steps. First is the chain initiation step, second was the chain propagation step, and last was the chain termination steps. So during chain initiation step, free radical is formed from a particular halogen, and in chain propagation step, that free radical reacts with a particular alkane, for example methane, to form the methyl halide plus this hydrogen free radical. And in chain termination steps, there are different free radicals which are formed during these first two steps, reacts together to form the deactivated product. So these involve three steps, and so the rate of the reaction depends upon the formation rate of the formation of this free radical, and further the rate of reaction means the rate of reaction depends upon the first steps, that is the formation of free radical. Moreover, the reaction of free radical with this alkane to form the hydrogen free radical. So these two are the most important rate determining type of steps in the halogenation of alkanes. So in first step, this step involves the dissociation of molecules into free radicals. Therefore for this step, the delta H, that is the enthalpy change, will be equal to the energy of activation, that is EACT. This is ACT, the energy of activation. So this step involves the activation energy, which means that this step require particular amount of energy for the formation of free radicals from the molecule of halogen. So this energy is called energy of activation. So this energy should dissociate this molecule into free radicals. So the energy of dissociation seems to be very much higher in case of iodine and very much lower in case of fluorine. So so but uh, but chlorine with largest activation energy, that is 242.5 kilojoule per mole, should dissociate most slowly, while iodine with the smallest activation energy of 151 kilojoule per mole should dissociate most rapidly. But this does not agree with the observed order of reactivity, meaning thereby that this step cannot be rate determining step in the halogenation of methane. In second step, this step involves the attack of methyl radical on halogen and is exothermic. For this step involves the attack of this halogen free radical on methane. So this step is exothermic for all the four halogen. The value of delta H for chlorine, bromine, iodine are nearly the same. The activation energy for all these reactions should be very small, possibly only fraction of a kilojoule. Thus all the halogens should be equally reactive, and hence this step also cannot explain the reactivity. Moreover, in third step, this step involves the abstraction of hydrogen atom of methane by halogen atom to form the methyl radical. In fact, it is the real step which explains the relative reactivity. The value of delta H changes from highly exothermic reaction of fluorine atom to the highly endothermic reaction of iodine atoms. The activation energy of chlorine is 17 kilojoule per mole, while that of bromine is 75 kilojoule per mole. So it is reasonable to expect a very small activation energy for highly exothermic reaction with fluorine and a large activation energy for highly endothermic reaction with iodine. The values of activation energy are always higher than delta H values for the endothermic reactions. Thus, the decreasing order of activation energy for step 2 in 4 cases is iodine, bromine, chlorine and fluorine. So at a given temperature, the number of effective collisions in step 2 should decrease in the order given below: fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. This is fluorine. So this order agrees with the observed order of reactivity of halogens in halogenation of alkenes. Further, chain propagation during halogenation. So in the fraction of, if it is a fraction of collisions of sufficient energy which controls the overall reaction, that means how much effective collisions are taking place, so which control the overall reaction, so that rate of reaction can be predicted from the fraction of effective collisions. At a given temperature, the fraction of collisions of sufficient energy is much larger for methane and chlorine atom than for the methane and bromine atom. To be specific, at 548 Kelvin, the fraction of the effective collisions is about 1 in 40 for chlorine and 1 in 10 million for the bromine. So at 548 million, out of 40 collisions, 1 collision is effective for the chlorine and methane, whereas in case of bromine and methane, out of 10 million, only 1 collision is effective. So obviously rate of this reaction will be high as compared to this reaction. So this is the chlorination of methane. So a bromine atom succeeds in abstracting hydrogen after colliding with many methyl molecules, whereas a chlorine atom abstracts a hydrogen molecule after colliding with relatively few methane molecules. And how much those relatively few methane molecules? These are only 40 after only 40 collisions. So it means after only colliding with 40 methane molecules. During its longer search for the proper methane molecule, a bromine atom may collide against a second halogen atom or methyl radical or be captured by the vessel well. The chain in bromination should therefore be much shorter than in chlorination. In actual practice, it has been found to be so. The average chain length is several thousand for chlorination. It is less than 100 for bromination. Even though bromine molecule dissociate into atoms more rapidly than the dissociation of chlorine molecules at a given temperature because of lower activation energy of step 1. Overall bromination is slower than chlorination because of shorter chain length. So for endothermic reaction of an iodine atom with methane, the activation energy should be at least 138 kilojoule or probably larger. Even for the minimum value of 138.0 kilojoule, an iodine atom should collide with the innumerable methane molecules before the reaction occurs. Thus, the refraction of the effective collision in this case comes out to be 1 in 10 raised to power 12 at 548 Kelvin. So, this is the 1 in 10 raised to power one collision will be effective out of 10 raised to power 12 collisions. So thus the reaction of effective collision in this case, thus the fraction of effective collision in this case comes out to be 1 in 10 raised to power 12 at 548 Kelvin. Virtually no iodine atom lasts this long. Instead, these recombine to form the iodine molecule. So the reaction proceeds at a negligible speed in spite of the fact that iodine atoms are formed at a comparatively faster rate due to the lowest activation energy in step 1. In case of fluorination, dissociation of fluorine molecule to fluorine atom takes place at a faster rate than the dissociation of chlorine and bromine molecule into their atom due to lower activation energy in the step 1. Step 1 was the formation of this fluorine free radical from the fluorine molecule. Further, the length of chain reaction in fluorination are quite longer due to smaller activation energy. Thus, there should not be only longer chain in fluorination but also more chains. Moreover, the overall fluorination of methane is highly exothermic as compared with the bromination and chlorination. So, all the factors taken together explain the extraordinary reactivity of fluorine toward the methane compared with that of chlorine and bromine, and hence the explosive nature of fluorination of alkanes. So this was the concept behind reactivity of halogens with case of particular alkanes. So next we will take the relative reactivity of alkane toward the halogenation. Relative reactivities of alkanes towards halogenation. This is reverse to this. Here we were taking different halogens, here we will take different alkanes toward a particular halogen. So the relative reactivity of different compounds toward the same reagents is best measured by the so-called method of competition. So there are different alkanes. Suppose that methane and ethane are there. So how they will react to a particular alkane? For example, this particular halogen, this halogen may be fluorine or chlorine or bromine or iodine, individual halogen. So which will react faster? So this can be compared by the method of competition. It allows an exact quantitative comparison between reaction conditions. Equivalent amount of two compounds are mixed together and allowed to react with a limited amount of a particular reagent. The two compounds compete with each other toward the reagent. After analysis of the reaction mixture, the compound which has consumed more of the reagent is relatively more reactive. It means we will take equal amount of fluorine or chlorine or any other halogen in different containers with same reaction conditions. In one we will take one alkane, in other container suppose here we will take the one alkane methane, here we will take C2H6, that is ethane, and equal amount of any halogens we will take in both container. Suppose it's 4 mole or 5 mole. Then after few time we will calculate how much amount of this reagent is left. That will tell us these reagents left. That will tell us that suppose there were initially 4 moles and after a while here only 3 moles are left and here only 1 mole is left. So we can easily conclude that this ethane is more reactive to the halogen as compared to methane, because it has consumed 3 moles of particular halogen and that halogen has only 1 mole left. So So the experiments have proved that relative reactivity of alkane depend upon the type of hydrogen to be replaced from the alkane molecule. For example, primary hydrogen atom of propane and butane or isobutane are abstracted almost with the same ease. Similarly, each secondary hydrogen of propane is as easily abstracted as each secondary hydrogen of n-butane or n-pentane. However, the secondary hydrogen atom of propane are relatively more reactive and are more easily replaced in comparison to its primary hydrogen atom. So all in all, as I told you, in this mechanism there is the formation of free radical. So free radical formation means, suppose you have taken the chlorine. In first step, chlorine will form its free radical. In second step, this chlorine free radical will react with the methane or a particular alkane, which result in the formation of either this free radical, or it can react like so. If this formed product will be more stable, or formed free radical will be more stable, then this reaction will move with more ease as compared to some other reaction. So the rate of this reaction depends upon, all in all, the formation of this free alkane free radical. So if there will be suppose there is this propane which is forming this secondary free radical. So from the free radical studies, it is clear that this is secondary free radical, whereas its primary radical. So this is methyl free radical, and this is propyl free radicals. And it's moreover it's a secondary radical, and secondary radicals are more stable as compared to the methyl radical. So if you will take these two compounds to compare their relative reactivity towards a particular halogen, that is chlorine, fluorine or bromine, then you will find that the compound forming secondary free radical will be more reactive toward the secondary free radical will be more reactive toward the halogenation. So you must know about the radical, whether there is a formation of primary free radical or secondary or tertiary free radical. If there is a formation of tertiary free radical, this will be in turn more stable as compared to the secondary free radical. So this compound will react with the more ease as compared to the propane toward the halogen, because it results in the formation of tertiary free radical. So these are the relative reactivities of different halogens toward the alkanes, and moreover different alkanes toward the particular halogen.